Oh, you're wobbling. Okay. Hey, YouTube. Um, so I recognize that being newly post-op means that I make videos fairly often, and then I come up with these ideas of things that I want to discuss, or people ask me to make videos, for their websites, or they want me to talk about certain things, and then I feel bad about making videos all the time, and um, and so yeah, I'm just gonna try to upload them a little spaced out, but it might result in me making, 2 videos in 2 days, or, videos every day, depending on what's going on in my life. And so yeah, this is your heads up for that. So I wanted to talk about labels, what labels are labels inherently bad, and things like that, because I recently got an article published on the Huffington Post website in the transgender section. If you want to read it, it's called Transgender Miseducation. And I noticed that some of the comments are interesting, and a lot of the time when you talk about gender-based oppression, and some of the comments on my article are on the same line, is a lot of people will just say, well, you know what, I don't like labels. And if you talk about, heterosexism or cissexism or sexism in general, it's I don't like labels. Labels are confining. I'm not a soup can. Can't we just move past gender? Things like that. And I just, I don't see labels as bad. And a lot of people will probably disagree with me on this, but I don't see labels as inherently bad. I don't see labels as wrong, and I don't see labels as harmful. What I do see as harmful is acts of coercion, the undermining of people's agency and autonomy, and along the same line as that, basically trying to overpower people, whether it be in ideology or physically. And so in that sense, I just think it's interesting that people don't like labels, and I think it's interesting that people describe labels as, the labeling of food and such and so forth, and it's like, okay, yeah, soup cans do have labels, but it's so you know what it is, and so you know what you're eating, and so you know what to call what you're eating. I don't see that as bad. And so in this sense, I have a lot of labels that describe me, and probably one of the most important ones is Ira. My name is Ira. Ira is a label. Literally, I had to wear this at a workshop, for Camp Hero, and it's like, okay, my name is Ira, right? And so that our names are labels, right? In addition to other labels that we take on. Taking on a label is not bad at all. They are words that we use to describe ourselves. Our pronouns are labels. Our gender identities are labels. Cisgender people have labels too. Men, women. The word people is a label. Whenever people are just like, oh, well, I don't like labels, can't we all just be human beings? Okay, well, human being is also a label. Any time that you use language to describe your existence, that's a label. And I just don't think that people recognize that. That being said, labels can be harmful, just in the same sense that guns can be harmful. They're not inherently harmful until used in a harmful fashion. And so, along that same line, labels are bad when they are used to undermine chosen labels. So, the perfect example in the context of sexism is if someone were to refer to me as a woman, they're applying a label that I didn't consent to my body, to my existence, to my identity. That's harmful. The concept of girlness is not harmful. Unless we get into this whole discussion of the gender binary, then the normative concept of girlness can be harmful. But again, everybody who identifies as a girl probably has a really different meaning for that, and that's okay. I don't referring to someone as the wrong name. That's dehumanizing, especially in the context of trans people. So yeah, I guess I just those are my thoughts on it. I like labels. I find labels to be incredibly empowering. Um, as many of you know, I identify or I label myself as, you know, a femme, genderqueer, trans guy. These are labels that I take on for myself to describe my existence, and they are empowering because of the fact that oftentimes if words don't exist in a language, it's because our culture, the culture that takes on that language, really has no, or like the culture that is built upon that language rather, really has no concept of whatever it is that there are no words for. And I may have talked about this in a video before, but like there are cultures in existence today that don't have any words in their languages pertaining to time. And so for us, like we have so many words pertaining to time that it just, you know, time is obviously really important to us in Western culture. And, you know, in the same sense, a lot of the time people bring up the Alaskan Inuit and having a plethora of words relating to snow. And, you know, and the list goes on. That being said, like, for example, the very fact that, you know, up until recently there weren't, and even still recently, like, if you were to use the pronoun ze, a lot of people would get really confused, or if you use they in a singular manner, a lot of people freak out about that. And so that obviously shows that we really love binaries, and, like, our culture loves binaries. Everything is black and white, he or she, man, woman, male, female, and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. And so yeah, but yeah, okay, so I got distracted for a little bit. I think that they're empowering because the labels that I take on for myself prove that, you know, that I guess in a sense that, not that if there was no word to describe my existence, but it's empowering because it's like, all right, so there are at least you know, a couple other people out there that feel similarly to me, potentially, that, you know, these words exist. I'm not as alone as I thought I was. And that's nice. It feels good. And so yeah, those are my thoughts on labels. I am curious as to what your thoughts on labels are. And if you have any questions or comments, as always, you can comment below. You can email me. You can anonymously ask me a question on my blog. It's iradaltongray.com/ask. And so yeah, I will talk to you later. Okay, bye.